Welcome back to Belgrade. If you were with me in the previous video, you probably remember this place. This is Republic Square. I've got the National Theatre and the National Museum of Serbia behind me. Last time we headed out down to the Bohemian district, where we found some quaint, windy, narrow streets filled with kafanas and taverns and coffee shops. We found a mosque, a cathedral. We walked along the main pedestrian zone and up towards the incredible Belgrade fortress, which has over 1,000 years of history and some pretty spectacular views. I enjoyed it all so much, I am back for more. But in this video, rather than staying in the Old Town, we are going to explore beyond in some of the districts and neighbourhoods that are close by, but I've heard contain some real hidden gems and fascinating places. So if you're interested in seeing what's beyond the magnificent Old Town, consider joining me. This small square with a water fountain, we have the Old Palace behind me. It was damaged twice during the First and Second World Wars, and the new palace is just on the other side of the square. Right here is the house of the National Assembly of the Republic of Serbia. It was originally designed in 1891, but back then there wasn't the finances available to allow construction to start. It was then redesigned several times over the following decade, even once construction had started, and was eventually completed in 1936 when it opened up as the Parliament building of the Yugoslavia. After that, it was the Parliament building of Serbia and Montenegro, and then from 2006 it has been the National Assembly of the Republic of Serbia. As you can see, it is a spectacular building. It is nearly 14,000 square meters in size, built in the neo-Baroque style, and is adorned by sculptures, pillars, statues and domes right here at the front of the building. I've seen quite a few trams on my travels around Belgrade, but this one's got to be the oldest I've seen. And there it goes. Right, we are now at St Mark's Church, so I think what we're going to do is go inside and have a look. It is an Orthodox church built in the Byzantine style with those red bricks and sand-coloured blocks. Construction started in 1931, and by 1940 it was complete enough to use, although not 100% so. It was interrupted by the war, and if you go inside you can see that whilst the altar is extremely impressive with beautiful colours and pictures, as well as a grand chandelier, you can see that there is plenty of space left on the walls and dome for further paintings and drawings, and I read that until they're done, the church is not quite complete. One interesting fact is that this is the second largest church in Serbia. We will be visiting the largest later on in this video. Now, attached to the church is a small park area, so if you take a stroll through that, you'll come to an even smaller church, this time a Russian Orthodox church, and if you keep walking, you will eventually come to a small car park, which is where I am right now, and this sign right here, as well as the remains of a very bombed out looking building. So what's the story here, I hear you ask? Well, on the 23rd of April 1999, this building right here was bombed by NATO. A single missile in amongst the Kosovo War. This was previously the Radio Television headquarters of Serbia, and it was struck, according to NATO, to degrade the communication systems of one Slobodan Milosevic. Now, this event was not without controversy, as you can well imagine. Yugoslavia said that 16 civilians were killed and that this was a civilian broadcasting station. There is now a memorial on the other side of the car park, remembering the 16 people killed, their names, their age, and their job descriptions, as well as a photograph taken shortly after the destruction of the building. It's also been purposely left this way as a reminder of the events that happened on that night. It's also important to note that the general manager of RTS, Radio Television Serbia, was sent to prison for 10 years after the attack. And that's because he was found to be aware that the building itself was a high priority target and therefore very likely to be hit. Even though he had access to that information, he still did not evacuate. I think it's time to talk about Nikola Tesla. Quite a famous chap round here. The airport is named after him. There's also a large statue of the man himself just outside of Belgrade's University of Electrical Engineering. So what's the deal? Well, it turns out that Nikola Tesla was born in the Austro-Hungarian Empire in 1857. The village he was born in falls inside modern-day Croatia. However, his father was a Serbian Orthodox priest and his mother was the daughter of a Serbian Orthodox priest. He said himself he was equally proud of his Serb origin and Croat homeland. Well, just across the other side of the road is the Nikola Tesla Museum. I'm fixing to head across there, see if I can get inside and learn a little about his life. I've just been inside the museum. I thought what I would do is tell you a little bit about my experience as I post a few videos over to show you what happened whilst I was inside. It was a really good experience. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of learning to be done. First thing to note though is that if you are coming, make sure that you check availability on the website and also the time of the tours, and that is because there is an hourly tour. Some of them are in English, some of them are in Serbian, so I waited for about 20 minutes and then they allow about 60 people in at a time. It costs 800 Serbian dinar for a ticket. That is about £6 sterling or €7. For that you get access to a 45-minute tour and then you're free to wander around the museum by yourself. There's a 15-minute movie about Nikola Tesla's life and times, where he was born, where he grew up, where he went to work, and how he ended up in the United States of America. Then the host carries out some experiments and demonstrations using some of Tesla's prototypes and equipment.
When I turn it on, alternating current or AC starts flowing through this part of the machine. We call it the primary coil. So these are just copper wires. It induces or it creates another current in the secondary coil. That's this part right here. Hold them tightly at the bottom so the bigger part lights up. Hold them at about this height so it looks better for the picture, video, whatever. Thirdly, don't cross this metal fence either with your bodies nor with your lamps. Once again, it's really loud on the stairs. Look at the lamps. The first line is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The second one is 8, 2, 1. Last one, 3, 2, 1.
Tesla had over 300 patents, and some of his inventions include the Tesla coil, the neon lamp, the induction motor, Tesla's turbine, a magnifying transmitter, and a radio-controlled device, which was shown during the presentation and is an early version of the television remote control.
And as close as possible, like this.
Oh yeah.
So the farther away your hand is, the more it hurts. So,
I see.
That's why I hold my hand.
Tesla's most famous invention was the AC power system, or the alternating current power system, which was an improvement upon Thomas Edison's DC, or direct current system, and it laid the groundwork and the foundations for the Industrial Revolution. It's also the power system, AC that is still used by most countries to power their national grid still today. Fascinating place, well worth a visit if you are in the neighbourhood. That you can count as a recommendation. Anyway, we're heading now to our next stop and something entirely different. Well, we've got thunder, lightning, rain. It is all kicking off here, but I've arrived at the largest Orthodox cathedral in Belgrade, the largest in Serbia and the largest in the Balkans. It is the Cathedral of Saint Sava. Saint Sava was a well-known and important Serbian figure in the Middle Ages and the founder of the Serbian Orthodox Church. The cathedral is built on land that is believed to be the burial ground of Saint Sava. Construction started in 1935 but was delayed due to the outbreak of the Second World War. At that point, the cathedral was approximately 10 meters tall and used by occupying German troops as a depot. Work didn't resume until the 1980s, and the cathedral was finally finished in 1989 when the giant 4,000-ton dome was hoisted into place. St. Sava's cathedral has over 3,000 metres of floor space and stands 79 metres tall, with space for over 7,000 people. Perhaps the most impressive feature is the giant mosaic that covers the walls, arches and domes inside. It covers an area of 15,000 square metres and is one of the largest pieces in the world, taking 70 Serbian and Russian masters 6 years to complete. And with that, the cathedral is officially closed, as is my day here in Belgrade. I wish I could delve deeper into the Yugoslavia, deeper into Tito, deeper into communism, deeper into the NATO bombed out buildings, but you can't do it all. Stay tuned though, loads more still coming from Serbia. What a city, what a country, really enjoying my trip. Thanks very much for watching the video. I'm about to head outside and brave the rain. Let's go.